Hello again, it's the Java programmer, and today we're going to do something a little different. I'm not going to do any code. I'm going to show you something that I've been working on in the interim while we were doing this other code. And if we run our client as normal, load up a config for our local cluster, there's a command that I created called what I call ElasticSearch top. And this is something I've been working on. And it gives a view into the cluster that's kind of more real-time, more like a Unix top. Doesn't show process lists, although it does show a task list. And so here we see our cluster. The cluster name is Docker cluster. It's got 4 nodes. Indices is 1. Shards 8. Number of documents is 10 million. I ran the generate documents earlier. I pumped a bunch of documents in. And that our total size of the cluster is 12 gig. That'd be 12 gig on disk. And so there's some different views. If you look down below here, we could go to our one particular one is node view. If we go to our node view, we see we've got 4 nodes in our cluster, 1 through 4. And under this M column, which is the master column, we can see that node 4 is the master of our cluster right now. Basically no CPU usage. Here's our load averages. Heap is the amount of memory that each cluster node has. So they've been allocated 1 gig. And this one, in this particular case, is using 400. They vary across there. And then this is not the disk usage as far as the cluster goes. It's just the disk usage as far as that node's hard drive. So on that particular node, there's 173 gig out of 468 used. Here it shows our uptime. The cluster's been up for basically an hour. And so we have a couple other views that we've created. We have an index view. This one's really not exciting at the moment. Basically has the index name, which is called test, and the number of documents. I need to put here also the size and some other various columns. And all this data has been pulled from the calls that we've implemented in the last few videos. Now here's a new view that I wasn't familiar with. It's called task view, and this shows effectively what's running on the cluster at any given time. And so this monitor itself is the one that's calling this cluster monitor, task lists to actually show the tasks. It's also calling the health endpoint to get the health of the cluster, which is why we see the green bar. If the health of the cluster changes to yellow or red, the color will also change. So those are the 3 views, and this application is attempting to replace something that is called Cerebro. You may be familiar with this. This is another tool. It's a web-based tool for connecting to a cluster. And you can see here I'm connected to the same cluster, and you can see basically the same. I'm basically mirroring what we see in this particular application. The thing is, this application is not maintained anymore, and so I want to have my own command line thing that I can take anywhere, and I don't have to have a web server running in order to use it to connect to a cluster. But you can see here, this is the overview page, which in our overview, I don't have anything yet, so stay tuned for more videos on working out some of these logistics. One of the things that I don't like about this interface is that the nodes are the rows and the indexes are the columns. And generally speaking, you have way more indexes than you have nodes. And so I have added a toggle here where you can switch nodes for indexes. So it will switch the rows for columns in this view once I get that implemented here. So that way you can view it one way or the other, which then helps in depending on which way your cluster goes. Also, if we go back to the node view for a second, if this was to spill over the edges, you can use the arrow keys on your keyboard to sort of move this around the screen. And so you would be able to view, if there was more data here than what was viewable in this sort of window, you could scroll around and actually see it all. And that's been implemented on all the different screens. So something I'm excited about as far as being able to see more data index node view, task view. Even the task view has this ability. So all views have this way to move around. But anyway, if we look back over here, we can see the nodes. And if we go to node view over here, we can basically, I'm kind of copying this as far as the amount of information that we see. See here the load is 0.23, which is the 1 minute load average. Processors are pretty much idle. You can see the heap usages are roughly the same. I think they'll bounce around a little bit. This one says 9, whereas this one, yeah, there we go, 9. So the update times are a little different, but disk usage, same thing, and I like to see a more full uptime. So I'm basically copying this interface because I want a command line tool that can give me the same thing. So that was the motivation for creating this view. So anyway, it's a short video today. I hope you guys like this, and stay tuned for more videos showing how I'm going to build this out to basically replace this tool here. You can see here under these drop down, we've got snapshots and repositories and aliases, analysis and aliases, and we're going to be putting all this functionality into our tool. And I'd say that we're probably 30 to 40% there with the different commands we've already implemented. So thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe if you like this kind of content, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.